Okay, so we have some mill work to do on this one. We've got to make the little flat D's, and we've got to, or make it a double D flat shaft, whatever. And we've got to put in a keyway. The keyway will be new for me. It's not something I've ever done, so this should be an adventure. Let's go ahead. We've got 28 thousandths, actually 28 and a half thousandths we need to take off each side on this. I've got it set up in a super spacer and zeroed out. Let's go ahead and dial in some 28 and a half thousandths. I think we can take that in one cut. So let's go 25, 6, 7, 8 and a half. And let's give it a shot. That's one side. Flip it over to the other side. All right. Woo, doggy. That's a while on that. Supposed to do that, but who am I to say? So we've got that set up just perfect. Let's see if the interior piece fits on it. Like a glove. We'll need to shorten that down a little bit once we figure out exactly how much stick out we've got in the gearbox when it's set up, but we'll measure that coming up shortly. So right now we're going to take it, flip it around, get ready to cut a keyway. Since we've got it set up here, we might as well use the super spacer while we have it. And I'll be changing out the bit and getting set up to cut the keyway. Okay, first thing we're going to do is zoom out a bit, and we're going to change out the end mill here for an edge finder so we can get lined up on our shaft that we're doing. This is an old M-head mill, so it uses Morse 2 taper collets. Yeah, that end mill has seen better days. I'm going to see if I can just knock the chips off of it, but I think we've ruined it. Oh well. So let's get our edge finder in there. So we'll come over a 1/2 inch to make up for 1/4 inch for half of this shaft and a 1/4 inch for half of the edge finder, and we should be dead center over the middle. Oops. Let's try that again. I can't count for some reason today. Okay. There's my 0. And there's 200, 400, 500. And that looks like it's on center. Alright, let's lock that down. And take the edge finder out and put in the smallest end mill I've worked with, an 1/8 inch. Or haven't worked with, I should say. This will be a new fun experience. Put in a 3/8 collet and a tiny little 1/8 inch end mill. A little more stick out because we're going to have to get past the super spacer there. All right. Are we on the middle? We are on the middle. I've stuck my big fat head in there again. Alright, let's touch off. We're going to come up 1/16 of an inch. First we're going to move out here. Come up, let's see. We gotta come up 62.5. Let's come up 20. Alright, let's dust that off and see what we've got. Why, it looks like a keyway. Let's see if a piece of keyway stock fits in it. Perfect. Now let's see if the hub fits over it. Okay, does the hub actually fit the shaft? Yes. Looks like I need to go a little deeper with the keyway. These are pre-made hubs that I built a decade ago, so they're not pretty. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like it. I'll probably ream the hubs just to make sure they're round. Not sure I had a half-inch reamer when I built those hubs. So that's it for the shaft. Let's back you off a little bit. Other way. Take it out of the super spacer. Clean it off. And that's it, right there. That'll be the drive shaft coming out of the gearbox. The only thing left to do is hack this top off wherever it needs to be shortened, if it needs to be shortened at all. I'm not sure that it does. So let's put one together and see how it looks. Okay. All right, let's put one of these together and see how it goes. So we've got the shaft is actually going to go in the bushing, and I bought a piece of bronze this week to make new bushings, because this centered steel or whatever the heck this stuff is a little hard even on my carbide. Getting ahead of myself here. There's a washer that goes in before the snap ring. Okay. It does have a little play in it. It was designed to. I don't want that friction burning it up. So next is that ring, this piece, and then this ring. Now here's where we get to where we're going to have to actually trim this thing off. And I don't know if you can see it, but right there we've got too much stick out. It's got to be flush, and it's not. So we'll measure that. Our handy dandy calipers here. And it's a maximum of 0.198. So dump it apart. We'll go take it in the lathe, trim it off by 0.198. Or probably 0.200 just to be safe. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're back at the lathe, and we're gonna try and knock this piece down 0.198, 0.200, somewhere in that range. Got it locked in. Trade this one out. See if I have a cutoff tool handy. Huh, I do. And it's still sharp from the last one. So we'll come down, touch off of it, and I'll set up a gauge here. Back it up a little and go over 200. There's 100. There's 200. Now let's just double check. This will just be a visual check, but it'll be something. Let's see. Yep, that's right about where we want to be. So let's part it off. Okay. Face it just a hair. Probably should have stopped at 198. Took off about 1,000. See if we can break the edge just a tad. We're done. Pretty as you please. All right. That's it. Let's go back to the table and see about putting it together. Okay. Clean it all up. Try this again. Got our retaining ring that goes in there. I lost the original retaining ring, but just happened to have a set of retaining rings around here that had the right size, so we got lucky there. So let's show you how to fix the clutch real quick. I've stolen this idea from another few different builders, so don't think it's anything original. But what we're going to do, once I can get this dang retaining ring out, is we're going to tap these holes where the ball bearings used to be. And just happens to fit a 1/4-20 tap. Once we tap them, we'll drive a couple of grub screws in there, and those grub screws will, once they're adjusted properly, will bear up against these and not allow it to turn anymore, and we'll be locked up. So let me grab a tap and a drill and we'll do that. Okay, so we've got a 1/4-20 spiral point tap and fairly soft plastic that's maybe a little oversized for that tap. I'm not going to worry about lubricating it or anything, and they're not blind holes, they're open holes, so we'll just tap away. I'm going to tap all of them in case we find that 2 of the grub screws are not enough. It's easier to go ahead and tap it now while I'm here. And there we go. that's all there is to it. And I'll grab some set screws and we'll put them in there and put it back together, and I'll show you that it doesn't allow you to rotate anymore. Okay, found some set screws, grub screws, whatever you want to call them. Nice little assortment here. And we're looking for the 1/4 20s. 1/4 by 1/4 inch is what I have plenty of, so let's go with those. Let me grab a Allen wrench. And we'll run 2 of them in there. Till they're just a little proud of the bottom. Don't want to run them in too far. We end up tightening up the whole gearbox, and we don't want to do that. So but once we've got these in there, we can put it all back together one more time and see how it runs, how it works. That one goes in there. Where's my little? There's my ring. Okay. Next one here is there. Oh, this plastic. No, that goes there. That goes on here. Smooth on here. With the inside mouse, you can go taste any little fingers. These days, you got better with fast forwarding. You want to see. Here we go. So, those go in. Here we go. You get a little bit of slack in it, and that's because we didn't put the little anti-rotation pins back in it. But it won't go far, and we can tighten these 2 just to the point you feel tension on them, and really they should be adjusted after we screw the case back together. Because what you don't want is them pushing so hard they're spreading the case apart and tearing up plastic and nasty things like that. So let's take it from there. That's it for one shaft, 1 gear shaft and 1 gearbox. We've got a little aluminum hub that fits on here and a wheel, and eventually the whole thing looks like this. Here's your shaft. This one has not been keywayed and needs to be cut off. It's a little too long, but there will be another bushing on the outside with a rail here to support that end, and we've got 2 clamps in here, one that fits over here, which is why we trimmed this down, and then the other holds the motor, and that pushes everything together, keeps it all locked up in sync, and hopefully takes care of what we need. You've got your shifter here. I'm thinking we're going to have to find a way to probably lock the shifter in place. I may just put a simple zip tie around it, but we'll probably be running it at low speed for controllability. We'll determine that once we have all 4 wheels on the ground and a movable frame. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.